Rugby World Rankings after one round of the Rugby World Cup 2023, folks. There's a fair bit of movement, keeping in mind that the points kind of double. The change doubles during the World Cup, so there is going to be some more dramatic movement than what we're used to. We'll have a look at who's up and who's down, what they've moved by, and what are the kind of potential possibilities for the week that's ahead. Although World Rankings, I mean, I love looking at them, but ultimately the team who lifts the trophy in a few weeks is going to be number one, aren't they? Ireland beat Romania, no change for them at number one. South Africa are up from 91.08 to 91.67, just behind Ireland. They could have passed Ireland if they had beaten Scotland by, I think, one more point, because there's only two margins for the world rankings. You either beat a team by 1 to 15 or 16 plus. 16 plus, you get more points off them. That's the way that works. So just short the South Africans, but they are up, even if they haven't taken any new spots. France are also up with their victory over the All Blacks from 89.22 to 90.59. Remember, they're still the home team, even if they are the World Cup hosts. So they won't be getting as much points as teams who were playing at neutral venues like everybody else. New Zealand are down in the back end from 89.06 to 87.69. And Scotland are also down to 83.43. So those are your kind of top five. But remember, before the World Cup, there was a pretty big gap between the top five and then everybody else, or even top four, Scotland, and then others. But looking at England with their win over Argentina, up from 79.95 to 83.22. That's the kind of difference we can see with this doubling effect at the World Cup. They are massively increased, so up from 8th into 6th with one win. Australia with their win over Georgia, up from 79.87 here into 7th, 81.78. So a big boost for Eddie Jones. Wales, who have perpetually been on that side of my board, even though I've put two extra teams on today. That's about as high as they've been for ages, 80.66, up from 79.26 with their win over the Fijians. So, yeah, big boosts for those teams, whereas Fiji are down from 7th. Argentina are down from 6th, so big drops for them. And it is just going to be like this during the World Cup. Every week is going to be big chopping and changing, I would imagine. Samoa is up without having moved on any points because they didn't play at the weekend because Georgia's dropped below them. Georgia's also dropped below Italy. Italy did get a win in their game against Namibia, but they didn't take any points off them because remembering, if the gap between you and the team you're taking points off, Namibia are down in 21st on 61, Italy's on 75, you can't take points off teams who are more than 10 points below you. Usually you'd be scored at +3 for the home game. So France, for their scoring, will be scored at 93.59. That's the only one who's got the home and away thing kind of sorted. Everyone else is playing at neutral venues. So 10 points is a pretty standard margin. Georgia's down with that loss, and then everybody else is pretty much stock standard. Japan didn't take any points off Chile. Tonga hasn't played. Portugal hasn't played. Uruguay hasn't played. The US is not at the World Cup. Romania did get beaten, but way too below that score. Ireland's on, and then Spain also not at the World Cup. Just off my board, Namibia 61.61 and Chile 60.49. Those are your other teams. So, yes, a fair bit of chopping and changing. England, Australia, Wales, your big winners. Fiji, Argentina, Georgia, your big losers after one round of rugby. There's actually maybe not going to be as dramatic changes for the second week unless we see some upsets. France, Uruguay, there's not going to be any change. New Zealand, Namibia, there's not going to be any change. Samoa, Chile, there's not going to be any change. Wales, Portugal, not going to be any change. Ireland, Tonga, South Africa, Romania. None of those games are going to have changes unless the underdog sides manage to pinch a win somehow. Otherwise, it's all going to be same. Australia could pass Scotland if they beat Fiji by 16 plus. And Fiji could pass Australia if they beat Australia. England is going to get a very marginal gain if they win over Japan. And Japan could go 11th if they manage to get a win over England. Otherwise, like I said, pretty samey. How fairly or not do you think this ranks things at the moment, guys? Do you think England, like everyone was saying England was overrated when they were at like 8th? Now they're at 6th with one win. Are the Aussies with Eddie's first win 7th? Or do you think it's a bit too much of a dramatic change with this doubling of the points. If you want to catch up on the games that were played this weekend or want to watch the upcoming games, remember they got them on ITV. I was connecting to Docklands on the old VPN if you want to try that, if you're outside the UK, and then ITV website, categories, sports, Rugby World Cup. Pick a game and watch it. One of the other servers on the London one wasn't working, but Docklands was working, so give it a go. I'll put a link down in the description. That's the VPN that I use. It works most of the time, but they do a 30-day money-back guarantee in case it doesn't work for you. But yeah, most of the time you can get on there. If you don't like the ITV commentators, and you have to watch a ton of ads, I should say, if you want to watch it for free on ITV, so many ads. Put the thing on, choose the game, go make a cup of tea, come back, because you'll be still watching ads. All the other ones, RTE you can get on with the Irish server and TF1 with the French one, but yeah, ITV tends to have them all, so that's been the one that I've been going with. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on the rankings. How do you reckon they are sitting after 1 week of Rugby World Cup action? And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Together.